On the 15th of September 2023, I started a TikTok theme page to see how much money I could make. It's been about 2 months since then, and within that time, I've made a grand total of... Welcome back to episode 4 of growing a TikTok theme page from scratch. Since the last episode has been so long ago, I didn't mean to leave it so long without posting, but I didn't want to make a totally negative video. And since the end of the last episode, there's been a few things that went wrong. So we're going to talk about those in this video and what I've done to rectify these things. But just like anything in life, with social media pages, with business, with life in general, nothing is ever just a straight line up. There's always going to be ups and downs. So this is just proof of that. So as it's been so long, I'm going to give you guys a quick little recap. So in the last video, we made our first £600, which took us over our original goal of making $500. And we done that in about just over a month. We also were sitting at around 25k followers at the time, I believe, which was about halfway towards our goal of 50,000 followers. Obviously, there was a lot more that went on in the episode, but those are just the main sort of pointers. But if you want to go and check out that video, feel free to before or after you've watched this one. So as for the updates with this page, since the last episode, literally the day before I posted it, I got kicked out of the creativity program due to unoriginal content. I didn't actually realise I had videos getting striked. If I did, I probably would have been able to stay in the program, as I would have been able to appeal a lot of them, but I didn't see this, I didn't appeal them, which just meant I got kicked out. Now, just to clarify, this does mean that I keep the £600, so that's something good for you guys to know, I guess. So you do keep the money that you have made. When this did happen, I just spent a day sort of bulk making these videos for the page, so I had a fair few videos saved up to go and post, which then made it a little bit demotivating, and I didn't really want to post on the page because of the fact that I just spent a full day making these and I wasn't going to get paid for them, which then meant the rewards for the series wouldn't be as good. While I was having a little break from the page and thinking about what I actually want to go ahead and do to get the most out of these videos that I'd already gone and bulk made, as I knew I could reapply in a month, so I didn't have one to wait a full month. But either way, while I was thinking to keep the page alive, I just done some swipey sort of videos to keep it alive, as these took me a couple of minutes to make, and they tend to do quite well in terms of views, so this will just keep the page active and also bring in some new followers and viewers. During this time where I was posting these slideshows, I realised that I should see this as an opportunity rather than a burden. I had always wanted to use the page to make money in different ways. As you guys said you wanted to see that, I wanted to see that as well, so I could show you the full potential of social media pages. So I decided to go ahead and make a product, and then I would start posting these videos that I had drafted to go and get some traffic to hopefully sell some of the products. So what I decided to put together for a product was a digital product. It was a motivational page growth kit. So if you saw my page and wanted to make a page like mine, you would get the growth kit. It had videos inside it, so videos that I had used. It also had sounds, and then it also has a tutorial of how to make the videos like myself. I then made a store for this inside of Beacons. I use them quite often. I'll leave a link to them in the description. They're a pretty good place to use your store. It's very easy to do. So I used Beacons to create a store, nice and quick. And then once I'd done that and I'd made the product and I'd linked it all together, I was up and running and I could start trying to sell it. So once I had that store all in place, I had the link in the bio. It was time to start posting the videos to try and get some traffic towards this product, which is exactly what I did. Once I started to post again, I actually did manage to get a fair few viral videos, which was good and bad at the same time. It was good because I knew it would lead to more traffic, which would hopefully lead to more sales on my product. But then it was also a little bit painful knowing that if I was in the creativity program, some of these videos probably would have made me hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. However, what this did prove is that I started to get a better understanding of the niche. And this is why I can't stress enough to people to, once they're in a niche, stay in that niche. Don't keep chopping and changing, making new pages, joining new niches. It does take time to get an eye for what goes viral in that niche and get better at making the videos. All of these things do take time, and as you do more and more, you get better and better. I think this YouTube channel is a perfect example of that. If you go and watch my first video compared to now, I feel like the video qualities and production, everything has come up a long way. I'm going to show you how I gained 25,000 followers in only 7 days on my Instagram account. Here's a screenshot for those of you that want. And even the same thing with the page. If you go and look at the first couple of videos that I made on the motivation motive, even though I already had some experience with CapCut, I've been creating pages and running theme pages for a while, it still got better and better as I went along. This is purely due to the fact that as you spend more time in the niche, look at more videos, look at more of your competitor stuff, you pick up more things, you get an eye for what kind of goes viral in that niche, maybe some good hooks that go viral in that niche, some good clips you can use. So really, once you're in a niche, just stick to that niche. That is going to be your best bet. I first priced the product at $24.99. However, the first couple of days I got a fair few views and didn't get any sales. I then eventually did get a sale. The next day, once again, I didn't get a sale. So I thought I'd do some testing and change out the pricing. I then made it $19.99, and that was when I started to somewhat consistently make some sales with the product. I then had an idea to create a series that I can directly sell on my videos on TikTok. I've been wanting to do this for a while, as I've seen people saying, and I've seen people actually getting more views on their videos when they do post under a series. This just sort of makes logical sense, as if you sell one of those paid series on your videos, TikTok takes a big cut of that. So that way they're going to want to push your video, because that video will then make them money. I hope that makes sense. So what I decided to do is I decided to create a series and almost use it as a sales funnel for the bigger, more expensive product, as people are not very likely to pay a lot of money on the TikTok video, but if you take them off TikTok and onto your store, they're probably more likely to spend more money. So what I did was I created a product that was just a tutorial and added in a few extra bits, and it was only $1.99. I really made sure the tutorial was good and I showed people exactly how to do everything. You really need to make sure this product is good, because if it's rubbish, people are not going to buy a more expensive product. So within that product, I had a video tutorial of myself showing you on CapCut Mobile how to create videos like myself. Then towards the end, I would recommend people go and get the clip pack or the growth kit, as it had the clips and the music, and it would just make their life a lot easier and quicker. I then also gave them a discount code that they could go ahead and use at checkout, just to give them that little bit more incentive to buy, make them feel special because they bought the cheaper product, that I would then give them even more money off the more expensive product. However, a really key thing to note once again, I know I've already mentioned this, but really make sure that if you are going to try this and use the series as a funnel, that product is really good. As you can see with my product, I have got 5 stars, and no, I haven't even messaged these people and asked them to give me 5 stars. Just the people that have left a review, pretty much all of them gave me 5 stars. So that just shows how much detail I went into inside of the tutorial, and you guys need to do the same if you are going to do this. And as for the testing, whether I found it got me more or less or any difference in views, what I am going to say is I do feel like it did boost my videos more. I found my videos flopping a lot less when I posted them with a series than when I did post them without a series. So whenever I post them with a series, pretty much all of them seem to get above 5k in the first day, whereas before I might have a few videos only get a couple of k in the first day in terms of views. However, when I posted with a series, they did tend to get a bit of a boost. It is not necessary, and I don't really think in the long run it makes a big difference on your videos, because I did have a video where I forgot to put the link to the product on it, and that video, while it did seem to have a bit of a slower start, once again sort of suggesting my theory of the paid series giving it a boost, it did actually end up getting, I think, around 1.5 million views it's sitting at now. And also I had another video before I even started the series of Israel Adesanya, and that one got 500k views. So it's not essential, I'm not telling you to go and do this, but you can try it out for yourself if you want and see if it does help for yourself. Before I dive more into the earnings and the analytics on the products that I was selling, there's a few more things I need to cover. On the 21st of October, once again the same day I got kicked out of the creativity program, I actually started posting also on Instagram. That was because around this time my page was around 25k, and I was pretty confident that posting to Instagram would no longer have any negative effects or have any sort of effects on my videos that I post to TikTok. This is due to the fact that I've already grown an audience on TikTok, and once you've done this, it seems to be fine to go ahead and post on Instagram. However, I haven't personally experienced this myself, as I tend to grow TikTok pages first and then start on Instagram. I have seen a lot of people, if they post Instagram and TikTok from the start, their TikTok seems to suffer a little bit. So this is something to keep in mind for yourselves if you are going to start a theme page. Now, with that being said, after having posting on the Instagram consistently for about a month, I've got around 650 followers, which isn't amazing, it isn't bad. However, this is just proof to you guys. A lot of you guys give up too soon. My videos were doing rubbish. They were getting like 20 views, 30 views, whatever. But luckily for me, because I was already making them for the TikTok and the TikTok was doing well, I was just going to post them to the Instagram anyways. So this just goes to show that even if your account isn't one of those maybe luckier accounts that is favored by the algorithm, that you can still push through and still gain followers. I had one video get around 70k and a few more videos are doing okay now. However, once again, a lot of my videos are still doing really rubbish. This is just how it is at the start on Instagram. Sometimes it's quite slow. You have to build up that audience. However, once you get those sort of first few thousand followers or that first viral video, it then gets a lot easier from there. I do believe part of the reason that I have suffered with this Instagram account is because I did have to make it a month in advance, because I didn't want anybody watching the series to go and steal my name on Instagram. So it was just sitting there for a month, which I do believe could have had some negative effects on the page. However, I did also use this page as an opportunity to experiment and feedback to you guys. So when I made the product, I did actually post a link in the bio of the page. I just thought, why not throw it up there? If I get a viral video, I might get a couple more sales. But I have related to this in the past, and I have talked about this in the past. Having a link in your bio, especially when you're a small page on Instagram, does tend to hurt some pages. So I thought I'd experiment with this, and while I was doing that, it wasn't doing great, the page. I then took it out, and the page started doing a little bit better. So once again, that is another sort of tip or a bit of source for you guys, that if you are starting Instagram, I've always said this, don't try and sell from the start. The only reason I is because I already had a big TikTok, but it wouldn't even make sense, to be honest, to sell a growth kit on Instagram when my page isn't very big. So I say this all the time, but first you need to build that audience and then you can start to sell. However, if you absolutely have to sell from the start, and you need to sell from the start, you actually need to, and that is a must, not an optional. You're like, I have to sell from the start. what I would suggest is creating a story highlight and then having a link in there. And that way you'll get some traffic, maybe look at that story highlight and purchase. But if you do have it in your bio, it can hurt your page, so I wouldn't recommend it. But I always recommend building up a page first, as you need an audience to sell to, and people, funnily enough, most of the time don't like being sold to. So if you try and sell to them straight away, you might scare some people away, slowing down the growth of your page, meaning you don't have an audience to sell to. So my advice would be, firstly, to make a good page, a good community, really sort of build up that community feeling, get a good sort of 10,000 followers. And then once you've sort of almost earned the right, you can start to sell to those people. Don't be too salesy, just put it there. If people want to buy it, they buy it. If they don't want to buy it, then that's fine. However, once again, if people aren't buying it, this is just a reason for you to go and maybe change the pricing of the product, look at the product and think, is it something that my audience would actually want? Once again, just loads of testing with this, and then you can start to eventually make sales and make some money with these pages. Now, I've left it so long that the TikTok has actually been kicked out of the program for around a month. So I managed to reapply and I managed to get back into the program. Since being back in the program, I had a few videos do quite well, and I've made just over £200 again with the creativity program. This has been in about the space of a week. My RPM when I joined back did seem to get a little bit lower. However, this drop in the RPM was mainly due to one video, which was a video that attracted a sort of Eastern European, Russian audience. It was actually a gym video, so no surprise there, the gym video attracts the Eastern Europeans. But once again, this is just another point to prove that your RPM isn't really dependent on your niche, it is more dependent on where your audience is from. As on this video, where it was all related to school, my audience was 45% UK, my RPM was 77 pence. That video got about 280k views, and the video of 1.4 million views that had a mainly Eastern European audience, they actually made about the same amount of money, which is pretty crazy. So just to clarify, the gym video did have about an RPM of 0.25 pence. So that is in pounds, so 0.25 RPM, and the video of the school had a 0.75 RPM. So you can see how the audience really does affect how much you're going to get paid from TikTok. Now I would, or I will, pop up some screenshots around me. However, I did actually get kicked back out of the creativity program for security reasons. I believe this is a mistake and I've appealed it. So if I get the screenshots where I can show you how much I've made from these videos, then that means they let me back in. However, if I don't, then that means apparently for some reason my appeal didn't work. I'm not sure what I'd done to get kicked out for security reasons. It says something like I've botted views or something like that. I don't know why I would do that. It says there's many different options, but I don't think I've done any of them, so I think it was actually a mistake and I should get let back in. However, this just goes to show why it is actually a lot better to also build your own things to make money from these pages, and to not just rely on the AdSense or these platforms paying you themselves, as they can take your money away like that. Like even the £200 that I made, because this one was to do with security, when I go and look at it, there is no longer £200 there. I can't get that £200. Whereas the £600 from before, because I got kicked out for unoriginal content, they let me keep that. But I suppose the £200, because it could be from botted views or something, they actually have taken that off me. So this just gives you even more reason to actually go and start a business with these pages, start selling stuff to your audience, as you need multiple streams of income, as these platforms can just take the money off you like that. And that's a perfect segue into the part where I talk about how much I actually made from selling my products on this page. Now, once again, to clarify, with these products, I did only sell them on this page. This was actually another one of the reasons I didn't want to post a video, as I wanted to get enough time to show you guys that you can make money selling products through your page. However, I didn't want to post a video or the next episode of a series saying, oh look, I'm making a product, and then have people that watch the video potentially go and buy the product. I wanted it to be all from the TikTok page, as with this series, I really want to prove that anyone can make money with social media. And if people are going from my YouTube and buying the product, that wouldn't prove that anybody can make money with faceless social media pages. So just to clarify, I didn't post this product in my Discord. I didn't talk about it in my Discord. I didn't talk about it anywhere. The only place you could get my product was from my TikTok page and for my Instagram for about a week when I had the link in there. So on the series on the TikTok page, which was the tutorial that I sold for about $1.99, I managed to make 22 sales. I made these 22 sales in the space of about 20 days, which works out to be a whole $28 that I made from this product once TikTok had taken their cut. But remember, I didn't really think of this funnel as a way to make me money. I didn't really care how many I sold. It was kind of useful to sell them because once again, it was a funnel into the more expensive product. But this wasn't the main way I was going to make money, but hey, I guess it all adds up. Now for the main product, I did make around 18 sales. This was a little bit more of a space of time. I believe it was about 25 days since I started selling this product, as I made the series a little bit after I made this product. I started selling this product by itself first, and then I made the series to try and funnel people into it. And from those 18 sales, I generated a total of $354 in revenue. However, that isn't all profit, as there are fees and things involved. So after Beacons took their fee and the payment processors, either PayPal or Stripe, took their fee, I ended up with about $320 left. However, now I'm making sort of consistent sales. it makes sense for me to upgrade my beacons plan to the Pro plan, which costs about $10 a month. However, it brings your fees down from I think about 9% to 0%. So I've done this on my other pages, and this is really useful as you end up making a fair bit more money, especially once you are making consistent sales. Now, while these numbers aren't crazy, they're certainly not bad for a page that I started 2 months ago for a YouTube series. Realistically, I didn't spend more than a couple of hours a week, probably 5 hours a week I spent making these videos for these pages, if that. And off the back of that, I've managed to create a business that is going to continue growing as I get more viewers and generate more sales. Once again, I don't really have a platform on Instagram, and I have even stopped selling it on Instagram. Instagram is a lot better for selling products than it is TikTok. So once I managed to build up the Instagram, I can see this business making me well over £1,000 a month within a short amount of time. To be honest, I don't think it would be that long to get me to $1,000 a month. So if they let me back in the creativity program, I wouldn't be surprised if I made over $1,000 with this page in December. And I want you guys to remember, I only started this page as a YouTube series. Imagine if I actually took this page seriously and actually spent a lot of time on it, maybe 2-3 hours a day, and I started posting instead of 1 video a day or 1 video every other day, I started posting videos consistently 2 times a day or 3 times a day. Imagine how much more money I could have if I were to do that. Anyways, as it has been just over 2 months since I started the page or posted the first video on the page, I thought I'd add up the total revenue. I am going to include the £200 from this that I got taken off me, because I'm assuming that's going to come back to me as I didn't do anything they said I did. So hopefully I'll get that money back. This means in the space of just over 2 months with this page, I would have made a total of £1,105 or $1,400, which I would say isn't bad at all, considering I started this page like 2 months and 15 days ago, roughly, I think. And also within that time, I took a little sort of 10-day break because I didn't want to post videos as I got kicked out of the creativity program and I was a little bit demotivated. And another really beneficial thing about starting a business like this is there's no upfront cost. You can start this for free, whereas something like Amazon FBA, you would once again have to go and invest in stock, or even drop shipping. You have to invest in payment plans for Shopify and stuff. There are a lot of hidden costs behind different business models, whereas for this business model, there really is no hidden cost. You can go and do it for totally free. Now, like I say, this has only been around 2 months and 10-15 days. So I want you guys to really think about the potential of these pages once you actually start to spend a lot more time on it. Imagine this in a year's time, if I stayed consistent with it, or even started outsourcing it and getting more content on the page, how much money this sort of page could be making me. Now, the whole reason I started this TikTok series, this TikTok page, and even this YouTube channel, in fact, is just to try and inspire as many people as possible to go ahead and make some money online and be able to live a life on their own terms. Because I truly believe that if you can prove to yourself, prove to your parents, whoever it may be, that you can make money online, then you start to believe it a lot more, and a lot more opportunities and pathways will open for you in terms of making money online, which will allow you to explore the world, do what you want, and just overall live life on your own terms. Now, to end off this video, for those of you that are inspired and want to go and start your own page, I'm going to end off with a few tips and pointers and things to do, so that way you can go and take these actionable steps and then start your own page and hopefully have some great growth and start making some money. I've had a lot of people in the comments, in my Discord, in my Instagram DMs saying my content gets kicked off the For You page because it's classed as unoriginal content, or the content isn't high enough quality. What you need to do to get around this is you need to make sure you are, one, if you're making a page like me at least, using multiple different clips. 2, you need to be putting filters on the pages and also adding auto captions, just trying to make the videos as high quality as possible. And then finally, a thing that you can do to really ensure that your video should get accepted for the For You page and eventually the creativity program is put a little bit at the end. So I'll show you guys an example of this next to me. But if you put a bit of text at the end with a logo or with a picture, this just actually makes the video original. And if they say it's not original, this happened to me a few times, you can then go and appeal it, and a lot of the time they'll come back to you and accept the appeal, because you've added value to the videos. Another thing I will say is try to avoid movie clips. These tend to get disqualified quite often and they seem to be hard to appeal. A lot of the time when I appeal videos where I even use one movie clip, they still end up getting kicked out. Another thing, if you're taking videos and there are logos of like big brands and things in them, try and blur those out. So I'll have an example up here. I had an MMA video of Leon Edwards, and that video I actually blurred out the BT Sports logo, because if they see this, it's clearly BT Sports content, which then means it's unoriginal content. So try and blur out these logos if you can. My next tip and piece of advice is going to be one that if you guys are going to look to the page, you might be wondering why I never post under my own sounds anymore. And that is because as you grow, TikTok get a little bit fussy and they start muting your videos if you post it under your own sound and you have somebody else's music in the background. So what I'll usually do to counter my videos getting muted by TikTok is I'll either go on the video that I made and find the song that I did actually use in that video, and I'll put that on top of it. However, I'll turn down the sound really low. You can't turn it to 0, because if you do, it will just post under your own sound and your video will get muted. So I turn it really low to close to 0, and then that way they think I'm using that sound and it's fine, they won't mute the video. However, if I can't be bothered to go and find that sound, or maybe the sound isn't a commercial sound that I'm supposed to use, or I'm just being a bit lazy, I'll go and use a sound called 3 minutes of silence. That way I just slap it on the video. I don't even need to adjust the sound because once again, it is silence and it won't get muted because it is not an original sound from myself. My final tip is, this one goes for any type of page. Doesn't have to be a page like the Motivation Motive. This is just for any type of page, but really spend time trying to find good hooks for your videos. I'll pop up a video on screen of Israel Adesanya. This one got 500k. It was actually my first video back after I got kicked out the creativity program. That wasn't a swipey sort of video. This was the first video back. I knew this video would do quite well because in the hook, Israel Adesanya is saying F school, which is obviously quite controversial and it's going to split opinions, which is quite good because then people can be watching, they can be like, oh, why has he said that? And they might watch the video, they might get angry, they might be happy because they might agree with it. Either way, it's going to trigger emotion, which is going to keep people watching. He also swears right at the start, which once again just hooks people in. They might be scrolling, just the same thing scrolling, and bam, someone swears straight away. You're probably going to be a little bit hooked in, and then hopefully you'll get even more hooked in by the controversial statement. This controversial statement will also tend to get your video a lot more engagement, as you're going to have people in the comments disagreeing with him, agreeing with him, whatever it may be. There might even be people arguing in the comments. This is just going to get your video more engagement, which will get it pushed out to more people. On the first episode, I set some goals for the series, which was to hit $500, and we smashed past that in just over a month. And then the second goal was to get over 50,000 followers. We are currently around 44,000 followers, so that shouldn't be too hard to get. So if you guys do want to see me finish off this series, maybe even carry it on into the future afterwards, maybe posting some updates every now and then, once again, just feel free to let me know and I can keep you guys updated with the page and how things are going. Once again, if you guys do have any questions or anything that you want to ask of me, please drop those in the comments as I reply to pretty much all of my comments. Make sure you do subscribe with post notifications turned on, so that way you don't miss the next episode if we do go ahead and do that, or anything else that we have got coming to the channel for that matter. And once again, if you did find this video valuable and you want me to carry on with this series, please drop a like on this video, as that just shows me you want more of this type of content. Apart from that, if this is the first video that you have seen of this series, I'll leave a link to the playlist of all the episodes from this series up here. You should go and watch all of it. You can see the whole journey of me going from this page from scratch to where it is now, about 45,000 followers. So that will probably be pretty insightful, and I'm sure there is a lot you can learn from this playlist of videos. Apart from that, I hope you did enjoy this video and I hope you got some value from it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.